Welcome back to our zombie review series, where I'm going to be taking a look in October at all of the zombies maps that I possibly can from Call of Duty, and I'm going to be looking at the map design, the gameplay, and then a few positive and negatives before giving my overall thought on the map. If you guys couldn't tell, for this video we're going straight to Germany to an old-fashioned insane asylum. This episode we're going to be looking at Verrückt. The infamous sequels, something that is done quite often to varying degrees. For every Empire Strikes Back you have, there's also a Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2 that's made. Sequels are something that are difficult to pull off, especially if the original is extremely great and well received. This is not an issue that Treyarch had when they were creating their second zombies map, Verrückt, because Nacht der Untoten, it was fine. It was fine. Like we said, it's buttered noodles. It's basic. You know what to expect every time. It's a little boring, but you know what? It's playable, and there's nothing too wrong with it. It is fine. Verrückt, on the other hand, strays a little bit away from this formula. Verrückt, instead of being basic in its gameplay, decides to focus a little bit more on innovation. This becomes its most differing point to Nacht der Untoten, as it tries to expand on the zombies formula instead of just riding off the coattails of an already successful one. Well, to start this review off, I actually want to talk about the atmosphere of this map first, because this is something that Treyarch handles extremely well for this map. Before I get into the atmosphere, I want to ask you guys a question. I want you guys to really think about it. Is zombies a scary game? The answer is no. There are creepy aspects of it, but there's nothing inherently scary about Call of Duty Zombies. This is due to a couple of things. This is due to color schemes for certain maps. This is due to an emphasis on science fiction within the maps. This game can be creepy, yeah, but it's never going to be truly scary. Treyarch does a great job in this map on handling the creepy aspects of zombies. When it came to Nacht der Untoten, the map was creepy because of the unknown. We heard things coming up to us, but we weren't sure they were zombies until they were right in front of us. Verrückt is creepy for different reasons. If you look around the map, you're going to see that it's very lived in. Yeah, there's your basic rubble and fire and debris spread all about the map. However, there's also a plethora of medical examination tables spread across the map. If you walk up to one of these tables, you can hear what sounds like a drill. As you progress through the map, you realize that after every narrow corridor, there just lies more horror as you find bloody messages sprawled all against the walls. More tightly and claustrophobic knit corridors will lead you to rooms where mannequins are hung by nooses from the ceiling. Showers don't spray water in this map. They spray blood, which all adds to this overall creepy atmosphere, and you don't know exactly what went down. All you can be certain of is that whatever did happen was inhumane. In addition to this, you truly do feel isolated in this map, whether it be isolation from your players or isolation from the outside world. A quick peek to the outside through the windows of these maps, you'll see that you are surrounded by nothing but forest. And while it is day outside, and you can view the light as your savior, there's also an uneasy feeling as you realize that there's no sign of civilization for miles. So not only are you stuck within the confines of an insane asylum, but you are stuck inside what could very well be madness personified. For those of you brave enough to fight through the confines of the asylum, you'll come to realize that you have one objective in mind, and that is reuniting with your team via turning on the power. Flipping on the power, this will give you access to electric traps as well as the Perca-Colas. This is the very first map in Zombies history to feature the 4 original Perca-Colas, that being Juggernog, Speed Cola, Double Tap, and Quick Revive. In addition, Black Ops 1 decided to add Mule Kick to the mix. Black Ops 3 also has Mule Kick in this, but it also has the addition of the Wonder Fizz and Gobble Gum machines. So, as previously stated, when you first spawn into this map, you are split up from the rest of your team. So 2 people will be on one side of the spawn and 2 people will be on the other side of spawn, with power being the way to sort of bridge the gap between both points. But each side that you spawn in on is actually very different from one another. This German side, as it's commonly referred to, is the side that features both Juggernog and Double Tap, and the defining features of each side are the wall weapons that you'll find. So with the German side, you'll find weapons such as the Kar 98K, as well as the STG and the MP40 and different guns like that. And then on the American side, this is a side with Speed Cola as well as Quick Revive, you'll find guns like the Bar and the Tommy gun. I think this is a pretty interesting concept for zombies, to sort of separate it by the differing sides of World War II. However, it's something that's kind of lost if you do decide to play Verrückt on Black Ops 3, because all the wall weapons are just sort of Black Ops 3 era weapons as opposed to being broken up by World War II weapons. But like I said, it's a sort of a cute little thing that they added to the map to make it a little different between both sides. As you begin to progress through the map on your search for power, you're going to realize how sort of tight and narrow all of the corridors are. From a setting perspective, I think this is really cool because it sort of enhances that idea of going crazy as you're going through tight corridor after tight corridor, and everything has this extremely claustrophobic feel to it. And this also leads to a lot more challenging gameplay, because due to the tightness of each corridor and everything, there's really no viable training options for this map. Of course, this map was sort of made before training in zombies was a thing, so that wasn't really something that the developers kept in mind when designing areas. So you really only have two viable strategies for this map, and both of which are camping. One of which is camping in the power room. You have a stairway that you have to worry about zombies coming up through, and then you also have the door where all the zombies are mainly going to come through. It's a pretty simple strategy. You can get very far with it. The one thing about this map is that once you have to reload, zombies keep coming at you at a very overwhelming rate, so it's easy, but it is also challenging in that way. And then the second camping spot on this map is the balcony right next to the electric barriers by Double Tap, so you can go there, you can watch the window, and then let the electric trap do all the work. But like I said, when it comes to this map, shit's just gonna be flying. They're just throwing everything at you, and you are especially screwed once those electric traps turn off, because you're gonna have to look through the window as well as what's in front of you and what's coming through the side of you. So very, very challenging. Another thing about this map that I want to give it big points for is the color palette for this. Like I said, I thought that Nocturne Toten looked very boring. It had the exact same color scheme as the inside of a chum patty, but Verrückt corrects this mistake by having a very warm color palette. So you'll walk in and you'll get these very, very dark and dimly lit rooms, but then you'll also walk into other rooms where there's these very warm shades of orange and red. And I really like this addition because it sort of contrasts the vibe of the map really good, because you have this really creepy and unsettling map, but then you also have these very warm colors that are meant to make you feel comfortable, except you just can't be due to how scary the actual environment is, and I do really appreciate that. In addition to other features on the map, if you play the World at War version, the only wonder weapon that you are going to be rocking with is the ray gun, so good luck not killing yourself with that thing due to how closely knit this map is. In addition, if you want to play this on Black Ops 1, you will have the ray gun to help you out. Yes, that is very much true, but don't worry, they threw you a bone. They threw you a shitty bone, but they threw you a bone nonetheless, and the Winter's Howl makes a guest appearance in Verrückt in Black Ops 1. Like I said, this gun is not great by any means. This is the Winter's Howl before Classified, before they buffed it. So shooting a zombie with the Winter's Howl is pretty much the exact same thing as if you chose to spit on a zombie in the attempt to kill it. It's not going to be effective at all, and you're most likely going to die in the process, but hey, at least you have something that you can call the wonder weapon, right? And then finally, in Black Ops 3, they added the ray gun. Big shocker. They also have the Ray Gun Mark II, which is extremely helpful with this map, since the Ray Gun Mark II has the power to penetrate through different zombies. The narrow corridors really help you out with killing as many zombies as possible, maximizing your ammo. And then they also added the Wunderwaffe to this map. And that about wraps it up for the map features. Like I said, this is only the second Zombies map ever released, so it's not like the features go above and beyond to be the most innovative thing, especially when compared to maps like Mob of the Dead or Der Eisendrache or something like that. But for the time that this map came out, it was extremely innovative due to the fact that it featured power for the very first time, and you had all of the perks being added to the map. These are additions that sort of in today's standards are like, well, yeah, no shit, you would have that, but again, back in 2000, these were very innovative changes that they made to zombies, and a lot of these features ended up becoming some of the most iconic aspects of the game moving forward. So now that pretty much wraps up the overview on the map itself. Now we're going to go with the positives and negatives of the maps. To start off with the positives for this map, again, I've said this a million times, I'm going to say it a million more times, the atmosphere for this map is absolutely great. I think the Insane Asylum is obviously very fitting for zombies. I love the different writings on the wall. It has a very creepy vibe to it, and I think that's the most important thing, is that when zombies tries too hard to be scary, it's never scary. I think zombies fits in a very specific category of creepy, and this map absolutely nails that vibe to it. In addition, I also appreciate the 2 camping spots. I feel like when you think of iconic camping spots in zombies, everyone goes towards the Der Riese Catwalk, but the 2 camping spots presented in this map are actually really great and really fun to try and hold up in. In addition, for every single time that this map is remastered, this is another map that the more they add to it, the more fun it sort of gets. Running around Verrückt in Black Ops 3 with pack-a-punched weapons is very, very fun, and it's also still extremely challenging to do just because of the map layout. And now off to the negatives of this map, because for as much as I do love the atmosphere and everything, I will admit this map is really not all that great to play. I'll only sort of jump on Verrückt every now and again. Even jumping onto it for this video, I was sort of thinking, well, this is going to be a chore, and surprise, surprise, in a way it was a chore, just because the map is extremely tight, it's extremely challenging, and while it's fun every now and again, I do think that affects the replayability of the map to a slight extent, because why would I want to play Verrückt and absolutely get my shit wrecked when I can just hop on Nacht der Untoten or a more simpler map and just sort of chill out and have a really fun time just relaxing and playing the map. I do think, especially for the Black Ops 1 version of the map, I think the box selection is extremely weak. I think that if you're playing with Black Ops 1 guns and the Winter's Howl, all of those things are infamously terrible. Like, a lot of the Black Ops 1 guns will not get you past maybe around 15, 20 if you're lucky, and then the Winter's Howl has got to be one of the worst wonder weapons of all time. This was before we met the new and improved buffed version, so it is particularly awful, and they put this on one of the most challenging and close quarter maps of all time. So when you combine those two things, it really is just an ultimate recipe for disaster. Overall, I think this concludes my thoughts on Verrückt. Look, this is the second map that they've ever released, so obviously there's not too much to talk about. Beyond the fact that this map sort of looks cool and has a creepy feel to it, the only thing that this map does particularly right is add the addition of perks, power, and the traps. Other than that, this map is really sort of I can take it or I can leave it. I don't think it's as well known as Nacht. Obviously, you can't beat the first, and because of that, I also feel like this map is nowhere as good as Nacht. Like I said, it's sort of a fun, challenging time to do every now and again. This is never going to be the map that I just come back to just to play, though. Not in a million years. There are so many other better designed zombies maps I would rather play. But in making this video, I am sort of glad that I went back and replayed this map, because while I feel like it's not the best, this map is definitely overshadowed by a lot of other maps, and I feel like there is a certain amount of due that this map does certainly deserve. It gets a lot of things right, however, it's just extremely basic. It lacks a lot of features, and for the features that they do have, they're just extremely basic compared to today's standards, and that's why when it comes to Verrückt, this map just doesn't really offer that much. So I see you made it to the very end. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so that you can stay up to date with whatever content comes out next. Obviously, we're going to be doing that Shi No Numa review coming up. Hopefully within the coming days. I got a special project cooking October 18th. Just you wait. But until then, guys, make sure to take care, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.